Home to you.
Well guys, Minecraft Live just happened last Saturday, and if you guys don't know what Minecraft Live is, essentially it is the 2020 coronavirus version of Minecon, which was the Minecraft convention that happened for many years before 2020, after Minecraft's invention, I guess you could say. But yeah, this year's Minecraft Live, they made some major announcements, and I am here to give you the instant analysis, which won't be quite instant because it will come out 3 days later, but the instant analysis on everything that happened. So, I just want to start this out with, this is an update that Minecraft has been waiting for since caves were added, basically, because caves were such an add to the game. It was insane. Like, it shook the whole game up. But there were mods that were made, and eventually players were just like, man, this is good and all, but caves could really be better. And I want to say for the past 5 or 6 years, it seems like, we have been screaming for better cave generation. And Minecraft finally listened to us, and that is exactly what they are coming out with this year. Well, actually next year. We'll get to that. They said that they did not rush the update because they wanted to make sure that it was as good as it could be, which, honestly, I guess I kind of believe. I'm sure there's some other factors, though. So now, let's talk about the actual update itself. Well, actually, first, let me say that they are adding a Minecraft Dungeons DNC in case you play Minecraft Dungeons. So yeah, you can buy that DNC. Also, they are going to be adding different stuff to Minecraft Earth, but I didn't really look at any of that stuff. So yeah, if you want to learn more about the Dungeons and Minecraft Earth update, make sure to go check out the Minecraft Live video, which is up on YouTube right now. But anyway, yes, let's get into the update. So, it is confirmed that the update is coming out summer 2021. So, basically next year. We still have a very long time to wait, a bit less than an entire year, but hopefully this will give them a good amount of time to work on the update and make sure that, you know, there is a good amount of testing done, because, oh boy, this update's going to be a doozy. Let me tell you, this is going to take a lot of testing and a lot of community feedback before it is perfect. That's something I can assure you of. So, let's start out with describing the caves. There's a lot of stuff being changed about caves, but the old cave generation will stay in the game. So you still will find the classic Minecraft cave, which we have all come to know, love, and despise so very well. So yeah, that is going to be staying in the game. The cave update will also be combined with last year's vote, which was to update the mountain tops and also add goats into the game. We'll show more on that later. But yeah, they decided to combine caves and cliffs, which I think is a brilliant idea since they are polar opposites. I think that gives them a lot of chances to make a theme for this update. And also, yeah, just the fact that we needed caves and cliffs to be updated for sure. So the first type of new cave they added that I want to talk about is they added Lush Caves. And these are underground caves, obviously, because all caves are underground to some extent. and they are extremely lush caves, as you may have been able to tell by the name. They have a bunch of greenery. There's water flowing everywhere. How you can tell if there is a lush cave somewhere is there is these trees with pink flowers on their leaves called azalea trees on the surface of the overworld, and these mark where lush caves are. In fact, if you dig right below it, you will eventually fall into a lush cave, and let me tell you, these things look amazing. They are adding a new type of flower to these cave roofs called spore blossoms, and they spawn on the roof of the cave. They're pink, and they kind of leak out these really cool particles, which are obviously spores, as said by the name. But apparently these particles will cause really cool effects, so this flower can be mined and placed on a roof of another build, so that you can have this like cool particle effect just falling down to the ground. So I'm pretty excited to see what people are going to do when they build that. They're also adding a new food source, that's right, called glow berries. These are also a source of light, and basically these are, again, self-explanatory, berries that glow, and they grow on vines that and those vines grow from the top of lush cave roofs. Dripleaf plants are also being added, and these dripleaf plants will spawn in the little underground ponds in lush caves, and they have a super interesting mechanic. So if a player stands on a dripleaf plant, they will momentarily stay elevated, but the longer they stay on a leaf of this dripleaf plant, then the leaf will start to tilt, and eventually the player will fall off. And then after the player has fallen off, the leaf will slowly start to return back to its original state. So that's going to have a lot of parkour ability for players to play around with that, and I'm super excited for that as well. Now, they are also going to be adding improved cave generation. So basically, in the classic Minecraft cave, yes, you're still going to get generations the old way, but there will also be improved generations, and this is possibly what this is why I'm most excited about for the next update, just looking at the pictures and stuff. Basically, these cave generations are going to be super wide open caverns, like huge. Like, I am talking game-changing huge. You think that it is a mod when you look at it, or that you're playing on an extreme world, but these are going to be your regular everyday caves, and to me that's just insane. And sometimes these humongous caves will be filled with water, in which you can use a boat to cross it. Now, one of my concerns with these new huge, big, open, wide caves is the fact that it seems like mining will be super easy now. Like, it seems like it'll be so easy to find ores that strip mining will be insignificant. But I think that about Minecraft, I think that that's kind of the point of adding this, because I feel like Minecraft wanted mining to feel more like an adventure than a chore, because strip mining is super strenuous and honestly gets boring. So I think they wanted it to be, I think they wanted to make it so that you could find ores easily, while at the same time it was very fun. So you always love to see that. Now, another type of biome they're adding is Dripstone Caves. And basically, these, from the pictures we saw, these look like huge leveled kind of craters. And they grow stalagmites and stalactites, if you know what those are. Basically, it is, I don't know how to describe it, but basically it is a formation formed from water dripping from the roof of a cave to the ground of a cave, and there's spikes that form on both the roof and the floor from that action. So they're going to be adding those, and basically the stalactites and stalagmites drop when the block that they were anchored on is broken. So this will be a block that interacts with gravity. And if you fall on these dripstones, which is just an alternate name for stalactites and stalagmites, you will take damage. And by the video we saw, it will be a pretty hefty amount of damage. By the way, this update will add plenty of new things to kill you, so don't you worry about that. Dripstones do drip renewable water, which means that they will actually make puddles on the ground of the cave floor. So I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of interesting mechanics you can use with that. This is later on in my notes, but I'm just going to go through this now. So basically, they're also adding amethyst geodes and crystals. They seem to spawn in these like kind of room cavern areas, and the dimensions look super similar to the dimensions of a dungeon. Crystals do not yet have a use besides one use, and blocks crystals spawn on, which have not been released, the information on them, cannot be obtained kind of like bedrock or spawners. So yeah, you're gonna have to set up farms around these crystal areas. Now, the only known use for crystals right now is the fact that you can craft telescopes with them. You will also need to combine crystals with one other element, I guess, but we're gonna kind of take a step back and talk more about that later. So yeah, I believe that these crystals will probably only spawn in Dripstone Caves, because it just makes sense, since that's where all of these formations are going to be forming. Now, the last biome that is being added to the caves, and let me tell you, this biome probably going to be the most insane because of just everything that it adds. It adds a lot of stuff. So, basically, this biome is called a skulk biome, and for some reason Minecraft was unwilling to reveal exactly what this cave biome will look like, but basically there are skulk moss and skulk blocks that grow around, and they look a lot like a block of end portal. And I know that sounds weird, but that's the only way I can describe it. You know that center in the middle of an end portal when you have it lit up and it looks like you're staring into a bunch of stars? Yeah, that's what these blocks look like. And on these skulk blocks, or skulk moss, there are going to be skulk sensors that you can find. And let me tell you, these skulk sensors are insane. So basically, skulk sensors will emit wireless redstone signals when a block is placed or broken, and it will also send redstone signals wirelessly through the vibrations of footsteps. So it can sense footsteps, it can sense blocks being broken and placed. So yeah, basically, wireless redstone block. This could absolutely change the game, especially for the redstone community. This will add some insane builds, and I can't express in words how important this is going to be. Wool blocks do keep these skulk sensors from being able to transmit redstone signals wirelessly. So yeah, that's just an interesting mechanic that they added. It's specifically wool blocks. There are also, in these skulk biomes, there's going to be a new mob. That is right, and it is called the Warden. The Warden cannot see, but it reacts to vibrations and signals in the air, much like the skulk sensor. These Wardens can be thrown off by... Okay, so for instance, if I threw a snowball in the opposite direction of where I was, then the Warden would then start to walk over to where the snowball was and check that out. So if you've ever played the horror game Granny, it's a mobile horror game where basically this granny, which you are trying to run from, does not have very good vision, but she has excellent hearing, and whenever she hears something or feels something, she reacts to it and goes to it immediately. That is what this new mob definitely reminds me of, and he basically is a skulk sensor that's big and scary, and oh, trust me, he is big and scary. This warden walks faster the stronger the signal is. So basically, if you are putting off a very strong signal like sprinting, he will charge at you faster. He deals 6.5 hearts of damage. He is a hostile mob, by the way. He deals 6.5 hearts of damage when he hits you when you're wearing full netherite, which means if you have no armor on, he will probably lower you down to a heart, half a heart, or just one shot kill you. So yeah, scary, scary, scary stuff that is about to be added, and I am going to absolutely die a lot. His health is unspecified. That is unclear to us right now, but it's looking like he's probably going to have similar health to an iron golem. The last two things I want to cover in this cave section is the fact that in the scene with the warden, we can see two things. One, we can see a new block they are adding, which is a candle block. Obviously, it's a new light source and pretty self-explanatory. It's a bunch of candles. Now, the only two types of candles that we see in the scene are white and black candles, but I would not be surprised if you can color these candles however you want, and maybe even craft them using a new substance, possibly wax. But yeah, that's just speculation. It's very possible that these will only spawn around the new structure, which is probably where the warden lives. It's like a dungeon-like structure, kind of. It looks like this jail cell kind of thing without a door, and there are barrels and cabinets all around, so there will probably be loot in those. But yeah, we are pretty sure that is where the dungeon lives. So now that how could I forget? Another mob that is being added to caves, specifically in lakes and ponds. As we mentioned earlier with the new cave generation, there's going to be lakes and ponds that spawn underground, so that's insane. But they're going to be adding these new creatures called axolotls, sorry. And these are marine creatures who spawn in cave water. You can pick them up in a bucket. And we saw, very interestingly enough, they can be used to attack guardians, fish, and drowns. When they get hit, they actually play dead, and other mobs will not attack them. And it is unclear whether or not they are hostile to the player. All we know is that they are indeed predators. So yeah, the cave update alone is going to be insane. It is going to add so many new aspects to the game, but Mojang isn't stopping there. No. They are also going to be updating the cliffs. So the first thing that I'm going to mention is that last year during Minecon, the community voted to add goats to the game. So they're going to be adding mountain goats, and we saw that these boys have capabilities of extreme knockback because they headbutt different players and mobs with their horns. So yeah, make sure to watch out for that. They also jump extremely high, and most people think that they're going to have different personalities, much like pandas do. Now, sorry, my notes got mixed up. We have insanely good mountain generation. I'm talking, this looks like Mount Everest in Minecraft. This looks like a better Biomes mod. It's insane. These mountains are so insanely high, and they're so snowy now. I can't imagine what this is going to look like with shaders, and with the new goats and everything. Mountains and snowy biomes are finally going to be jumping with life. Yeah, I am excited for this. They are adding a new block, which is called powder snow, and basically this block looks like snow, but actually it's not quite snow, because if you or a mob walk on it, you'll actually fall right through. So I'm sure that it will be used in a lot of trolls and traps. You can definitely bet on that. Now, the next thing they're adding is they're adding a new ore called copper ore. This has also been something the community's been asking for a long time. I know that this mobile game, which is knockoff 2D Minecraft called Blockheads, they added copper ore. Copper ore is also in Terraria, so yeah, people also wanted copper to be added to Minecraft. It's looking like copper is going to be a bit more useful in Minecraft than in those other games. There is going to be some sort of copper block. It was kind of unclear to tell. It was a very weird block. Like, one block of copper, when you place it, was basically equivalent to 2 blocks, if that makes any sense. So copper blocks are super huge, and the only way we saw them used was for roofing. We also noticed that there are going to be copper stairs, so you will be able to make these into stairs. Like real copper, this copper starts out orange. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Statue of Liberty, which is this huge statue in the United States. Basically, it's a big green statue, but when it first came to the United States, it was this golden orange, copper color, because it was made of copper. The same exact thing is going to happen in Minecraft. After you place copper, it will slowly, over a long period of time, I forgot to count exactly how many nights it was, so I'll apologize for that. I want to say roughly 12 Minecraft nights, copper turns completely green, like the Statue of Liberty. So this is a very interesting block, which builders, I'm sure, will use a lot, but copper is also what you're going to use to make telescopes. You're going to combine copper with crystal shards, and basically that is going to make a telescope. They're also adding bundles. The reason for this is because they noticed that with all these updates, there are a lot of items in the game, and inventory management has become really hard for people who have been playing Worlds for a long time. They just use shulker boxes, but they wanted a cheaper alternative that's not quite as good, but they wanted a cheaper alternative that players in newer Worlds can use. And basically, this new answer is bundles. Now, bundles are like these little bags that hold a stack of anything. So basically, you could have 63 blocks of dirt and a pickaxe. Like, you can have whatever variation of whatever item as long as it doesn't go over 64. And you can carry these little bags around in your inventory. So yeah, they work exactly like shulker boxes, but don't hold near the amount of stuff. But I think it is a good thing to add so that players who obviously haven't been to the end can still have good inventory management. And now for the second to last thing, which we have not covered yet, and I think this is really cool. When I was younger, I wanted to be an archaeologist when I grew up. They are adding archaeology to Minecraft, and this is just insane to me. Basically, these dig sites are going to spawn around your world, and you can make a new tool called a brush, and you can carefully use the brush to wipe away debris from artifacts, and these artifacts can break if you're not careful enough. But yeah, basically you can successfully swipe away debris from these artifacts, and you can kind of try to figure out a storyline which Minecraft has. So I think this is great also from a lore perspective, because I'm sure that this will answer or cause a lot of questions, and that is really cool to me. You can put these different artifacts you find, like for instance, you can find parts of a pot, which are pot shards, and basically you can put them together, melt them over a fire to restore it, and you can make a full pot, which will have different designs and paintings on it and stuff. So I think that that is also really cool. But now, the last thing which we are going to cover, and that is the mob vote 2020. What mob did you guys vote to add into the game? Your three choices were Moonbloom, which was a reskinned mushroom, a glow squid, which was a reskinned squid that's shiny, or an iceologer, which in itself wasn't the most unique thing ever. It was basically just another type of illager, but I did think it had the most potential to be unique. And also, there aren't many mobs in snowy biomes, and I think that with the Cliffs update, the iceologer would have gone very well with that. Here's what the results were, though. The first mob to get voted out was the Bloom Room. I just forgot the name. I can't believe I forgot the name. But yeah, basically... Oh, Moonbloom. Yes, Moonbloom. Basically, this mob was the first to get voted out. It's just a mushroom that spawns in flower biomes. Yeah, wasn't all that impressive in my opinion. So then it came down to iceologer or glow squid. The choice seems pretty obvious on which one you would vote for, right? Like, the iceologer is this really cool new hostile mob. It can drop some cool stuff. But no, you guys go ahead and decide to vote a glow squid, a reskinned squid that glows. Yippee, so exciting. I have no clue why you guys voted this, but you did. So hopefully your judgment is good. One good upside about the glow squid is the fact that with these new underground lakes and ponds that we talked about, it will be just really cool to see the glow squids lighting the cave floor up. So I think that is one bright side to it. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. It won't be a Riptide Gaming video without a cringy pun. So yeah, guys, that is about it. I believe we covered everything. This, in my opinion, is the biggest update ever for Minecraft. Mojang, 10 out of 10. You did great. You listened to your community, even though it took 6 years. But you did listen to your community. And this is all we could ever want in a Minecraft update. This is bigger than the Nether update, and I cannot wait for it. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this super in-depth breakdown of the announcements of Minecraft Live 2020. But anyway, guys, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you all on the next wave.